Hello and welcome back to another Last Epoch video. It's been quite a while. I've been kind of busy with my studies and whatnot, so I haven't been posting as much as I used to. As well as that, I haven't played Last Epoch since this new season came out, so this is like the first video I'm gonna make on this new season. I'm just gonna do a quick little rundown through what's like part of this build and whatnot. This is my own like created like bleed Reaper build. So let's just get right into it. So the entire build is built around the Aura of Decay and the Reaper form, as well as the Rip Blood and the Flay. Main component is the Aura of Decay, which is gonna like apply all the bleed that we need on the mobs all around. As for the items, we're gonna have Salt the Wound as our like main stacking damage thingy, where it's gonna be like it's gonna convert half the crit multi that we're gonna get into physical penetration for the bleed. So we're gonna have that, and then we're just gonna stack a bunch of crit multi on our weapon and our amulets. So we're gonna have on our primary weapon, we're gonna have Eulogy of Blood to increase the bleed duration, as well as it's gonna add like the chance to cast Rip Blood on enemies when we hit people with melee attack, which is gonna be Flay. And then we have Traitor's Tongue, which is gonna give us several levels to all our skills, and as well as that, more like attack speed. And it's pretty easy to get like 3 LP on this, so then you can also get like increased bleed chance on your suffixes. For the boots, we're gonna have Blood of the Exile, which is gonna increase the overall bleed duration, and it's also gonna like increase the damage that the bleed is gonna do when the enemy target is moving. So that's gonna be very good as well. And then we're gonna have Valder's Chalice, which is kinda I wasn't sure if I was gonna use this at first because I feel like it's kind of mid, but when I looked over the stats, it's like the best option for this build. So we're gonna have it because it's gonna give us increased bleed duration and increased bleed chance. So we're just gonna have it, and then it's also gonna leech off that, so it's gonna heal us, which is very good. And then we're gonna have Thornslinger, pretty standard belt. I don't have like the most optimal, as you can see. I have a minion damage, which I really wanted to get like mana regen or something else, but it is what it is. I got the tier 6 health and tier 7 ox health as well, so that's fine. For rings, we're gonna have 2 sapphire rings, so we can keep our blood aura and our bone curse like at all times without our mana like depleting. So we're gonna have a bunch of mana regen, and this is also gonna bring us armor. You're gonna see that later. And for the mask, we're gonna have Mask of Indifference, which is kind of the new kind of item things, primordial uniques. So this is like the best option because it's gonna make us immune to bleed, so blood aura isn't gonna kill us. So we're gonna take no bleed damage. So that's very good. And then as well as that, we're gonna have a Acolyte body armor. This is not the best like option to have. What we really want is to have Wall of Nothing, but I'm currently stuck with this because I need the Elemental Rest, because I don't have Elemental Rest on either of the rings, so I need this right now. But as soon as I get Elemental Rest on the rings, I'm gonna swap this out for a Wall of Nothing. And for the last part, the amulet, we're gonna have Pearls of the Swine, the bleed version, and it's gonna give us like a bunch of stats, resistances, attributes and all that, increased physical damage. But what we're really looking for is the Zephyrfy, which is gonna increase like the overall damage over time by 50%. And as well as that, it's gonna like give us a bunch of ward. As you can see, I'm gonna like getting a shit ton of ward. As soon as I remove like the bone curse, it's gonna fade away, and that's because it's gonna give us like 150 ward per like curse that's affecting us, which is like the bone curse. So we're gonna get a bunch of ward. So this is just gonna make a buffer, so we take less like burst damage. So we won't like get one shot by one hit. With the Wall of Nothing, we're gonna get like a bunch more ward, but as I told you before, I don't have the perfect items for it right now, so I can't really do that. But this is good for now, and I'm like at 800 corruption, so it's fine for now. And for the idols, we're gonna have, I don't have the most optimal. You're gonna see the most optimal in the build planner, but these are, you need 3 of these. Increased damage over time while you have ailment overload, which you're gonna have all the time, so that's just gonna be permanent more damage. So we're gonna have 3 of those. We primarily want to get like health on the suffix, but ward retention is fine as well. It's not as good as health, but I mean, if you can't afford it or if you can't find it, this is good for now. But try to get health. It's gonna make you able to survive way more damage. And then if we take a look at the build planner, we can see a more ideal idle setup. Like this is the best I could think of. With this, you're gonna get like 60 endurance, more endurance threshold, maxed out like reses here. So this is just perfect, and then you're gonna get a bunch more armor as well as that. So you're gonna have like the perfect health. So you're gonna have a bunch of health. So this is like the most ideal. The build planner is gonna be down in the description, of course, so you can take a look yourself. For blessings, it's gonna be kind of simple. We're gonna have on Age of Winter, we're gonna have Shred Physical Res on hit, and then we're gonna have on Spirits of Fire, we're gonna have Endurance, and then we're gonna have chance to inflict bleed on Reign of Dragons, and then we're gonna have Void Res on the Black Sun, and then lastly we're gonna have ward per second with the Ending Storm. This was the best thing I could come up with from this, and then we're gonna the rest are kind of shit, so it doesn't really matter. But this is like increased XP, I guess. You can grab whatever you feel like. I have Ring, Ailment Shard, and Dagger, so that's what I'm rocking right now. For the skills, we're gonna have Aura of Decay as our primary damage dealer, which is gonna be kind of the thing that dishes out all the bleed. We're gonna have pretty standard. We're gonna have Rotten Reaver here, and then it's gonna convert into blood through Blood Font, and then we're gonna have Mana Blight to like increase the frequency, and then lastly Poison Soul. Since we're not gonna have any bleed damage thanks to our mask, this is just not gonna affect us at all. So this is just a big boost. And then we're gonna go down here, grab some Shred through our poison. So this is just gonna remove the enemy's resistances through our like bleed. And then lastly we can go Plague Rat to make it like bigger. And then this is just gonna counter this effect, because this is gonna remove our like physical rest. So this is just gonna match it and just give us back the physical rest that we would lose. And then we have Reaper Form, and then we're gonna go here to here. I'm gonna get Blood Moon Reaver as soon as possible to convert it to physical and bleed rather than poison and necrotic. So yeah. And then we're gonna go down here and get Pestilence, which is gonna like give us more bleed chance when we're in Reaper form. These two over here are super good. This is just gonna give us more duration through all bleed while in Reaper form. So this is just gonna make our bleed stay for way longer, and this is just gonna like increase our overall bleed chance on all our stuff when in Reaper form. And lastly, we're gonna have 3 points over. If you have a better like piece than I have, like with 2 more levels or 4 more levels to Reaper form, I guess you could go down here and grab some crit multi to get more pen, or you can go where I did to grab some more less health drain and more armor. If I had more points, I would probably put them here to get more armor per intelligence, since our intelligence stat is pretty high. And then we're gonna have Flay, which is gonna be like our main tool we're gonna use to deal damage but also move around. So we're gonna go up here, grab some attack speed with daggers, because we're gonna have a dagger of course. And then we're gonna have this to reduce the overall mana cost when we're hitting. And then we're gonna go down here and get Spirit Stride 2 points, then 3 points here. What this is gonna do, it's gonna increase the blood aura, like the aura of decay, the bleed aura. It's gonna increase the frequency and also the radius. So as soon as we just keep hitting the boss, it's gonna increase the frequency of the bleed like stacks that's the aura is gonna give out. And then we're gonna use this transference, where we can like leave the bleed aura on the boss when we have to dodge this, like an ability or anything like that. So this is just gonna help us with bossing. Then down here, we can get some damage, 2 points just to get over here, get some hemorrhage, and then lastly Dismember. And then you're gonna have like 1 or 2 points over, and then you can put it in Corrosive Slash or Thirst of Thread. It's up to you. And then Bone Curse, which is like the thing with Pearls of the Swine. It's gonna give us the Zephyrfire. We're gonna make it, first we're gonna slam 3 points here, and then 4 points here, and then we're gonna make it into an aura ability. So like it's gonna be aura as well as this. So we're gonna just run around through the monoliths and everything's just gonna die around us. And then after you went down here, you're gonna go 2 points here, 1 point here, 5 points here, and then 1 point here, what this is gonna do is when the bone curse runs out on the enemy, you're gonna blood rip on them. So everything you just walked by will get a blood rip, and that's gonna leave even more bleed stacks. So that's just gonna kill everything you pass by. And then 2 more points in Marrow Thief just to get the bone armor when like killing things. So you're gonna get bone armor all the time. And lastly, we're gonna have blood rip, and to maximize like the bleed on this build, we're gonna go down here, grab some more bleed chance. We're gonna go down here, get some more damage over time, and then we're gonna get blood bond, which is gonna apply blood tender when we're gonna like directly use blood rip. So this is just basically gonna work on bosses and rare mobs. It's gonna like attach to a boss or rare enemy, and it's per stack of bleed, it's gonna increase the damage, and as well as that, it's gonna leech some health. And then we'll go down up here, 2 points here, 1 point here in Mana Feast, 1 point in Congelation, 3 points in Berserk Veins, and then lastly, the last 2 points in Mana Feast, or I mean 2 points here and then 4 points here, lastly in Splatter. I think this is the best layout. I've been like jumping around between different things on this. Up here I'm grabbing some Hematology, but I believe this is the best path for Rip Blood. So yeah, so essentially this build is just you're gonna keep hitting your enemy with Flay, and it's gonna increase the blood aura's frequency and area. And as you see, the bleed stacks just stacking up, and the damage just increases overall. And since we have a bunch of like bleed duration, we can just keep stacking like this. And remember, this is just gonna convert into Leech as well, since we have Leech on both the Chalice and inner skill tree. So this is gonna be huge. And then we can apply the blood feather as well. Lastly, for our skill points, we're gonna go into Acolyte. We're gonna put 8 points in Forbidden Knowledge, 8 points in Bone Aura. We're gonna go through here, get some points in here. We're gonna wait with this actually, and then we're gonna go into Lich. We're gonna grab 10 points in here to get the mana regen, as well as that we're gonna get armor based on our mana regen, so that's huge. And then we're gonna get two points here to get the poison rest that we need. 3 points here to get some more ward per second. We're not gonna need 3 points here later, as you're gonna see in the build planner. And then 8 points here, because it's gonna give us a bunch of damage, and it's gonna drain our health, but that's gonna convert even to even more damage through Essence of Devourer. This is just for now. I think actually it's better to put points here and then Spectral Wounds, 1 point here and then 5 points here to make the bossing easier, because that's like the hardest part in the build. And then we're gonna have 1 point in Corrupted Form just to get more HP, and then 1 point in Executioner because it's gonna give us more attack speed, and we can dual wield, which is very crucial for this build. 5 points into Deathbringer, and then 5 points to Clairvoyant Insight. This is gonna give us crit multi, as well as that it's gonna give us ward. And remember, the crit multi turns into pen, so that's very good. And then lastly 10 points into Mind over Body, which is gonna give us 20 intel, so that's very good. And as well as that's gonna give us 10 health drain per second, and that's gonna convert into more damage to this one, so that's very good. For the Warlock tree, we want 5 points here, which is very good. We're gonna gain a bunch more mana. 5 points here. 5 points here, and this is just gonna give us bleed overload to activate the idols, as well as that it's gonna do rip bloods on everyone around us. And then also our rip bloods have more bleed chance, and then this is also gonna make so our bleed overload casts rip blood every second, so that's gonna make it like even more rip bloods. As you see, like there's a bunch of rip bloods all around, and then that's like gonna kill everything. Lastly, we're gonna go back to the primary Acolyte tree and gain the Veins of Power to get more bleed duration, because that's very good as well. Overall, I feel like the build is very good. It's like 5 out of 5 in clearing. I would say it's like 3 out of 5 in bossing, so bossing is the hardest part. Gearing up is very easy as well, like the items are not hard to come by. Eulogy of Blood, very easy to find. Salt the Wound, not too hard to find either. Like these items are pretty like easy to come by. I would say the hardest like item on this build to get is the Mask of Indifference. As you can see, I don't have a good piece at all. I have like 46% reduced damage taken from critical strikes. So yeah, like I don't even have that optimal stuff, and I'm still running like 800 corruption. So I think if I'm like tweaking this build and making it a little bit better, I can probably push to 1000 or even more. When running monos, it's important to keep in mind that we gotta keep moving all the time. Like, we can't stop to fight a single mob, because they're gonna die to the bleed either way. We're just gonna move along, just walk through them, and they're all gonna die. Like, it doesn't look like they're gonna die instantly, but they are. Like, as soon as the bleed picks up and the like rip bloods goes in, they're all gonna be dead in a second or so. You can just pass through here. And when I hit like the rare mob, I leave the blood aura on them, and then I use blood tether and just kite them away. Because keep in mind, like the boots give us more damage to people that are moving, so we don't wanna like have them stationary. We wanna keep them moving. But as you can see, well, like, our mobility is very good as well. Like, I have the Reaper form. Like, when I'm in Reaper form, I can do the dash every now and then. But then also I have the Flay, so it's just gonna TP me around with the Shadow Step. So yeah, oh, I think I missed the elite mob that I was gonna kill. The build is very solid. I would say it's a pretty good farming build as well, because you can just run through mobs and then you can see whatever they dropped. So this build is very good. I will put the build planner down below. Just to say this now, before people ask, I don't have a loot filter for you, because I have a universal one for all my builds, so I won't be posting any loot filters or anything like that. But I hope that's alright, and that you can fix it yourself. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. See ya.